Welcome to the Version 1 SAM Teams series of short fireside chats. My name is Jason Pepper and I will be joined in these sessions by my colleague Brian Lavelle. In each of these videos we will take a few minutes to talk about all things software asset management and license optimization and highlight some of the license impacts caused by typical business compelling events or change. In this chat we'll discuss some of the license impacts and considerations when undertaking business change, digital transformation or ERP projects that may require software procurement and or has an impact on your license policies.
So one of the other topics that we quite often come across with version 1's wider activities, we do a lot of transformation projects for customers. Quite often those transformation projects can end up in additional software spend.
Yeah.
What kind of things can customers expect to experience with that situation?
Well, the first thing I would always say in that situation is, does it actually require a software purchase? Because, again, it's something we've talked about before of a lot of times with these kind of projects, there's a presumption that whether it's through dual running or whether it's, an expansion of the system or whatever it is, there's a presumption that we're probably going to need more licenses, so therefore we need to buy this. The reality is that might not be the case. It could be a case of actually by kind of benchmarking where we are right now from a license perspective, we could actually reuse existing licenses, we could optimize to do it. So, that would always be my first question of don't presume that it does actually need a software purchase because it might not.
Right.
But if we go with the example where it does, it can be quite tough because, there's a lot to take into account of what type of licenses you need to buy, how long do you need them for, is it that the system is expanding to a point where you need more licenses, or is it that the system is temporarily expanding, that you don't need licenses long term? So customers kind of really need to think about that of, as part of the project plan almost, is what do we need to do from a licensing perspective? Is it something that's going to have an impact from financial point of view, or is it something that's going to have an impact from a project management point of view to ensure compliance? We need to make sure that the migration is done in this way, the transformation project is done in this particular order, so that we maintain compliance the whole way through it. Because again, we've said before that big business change is something that vendors notice and will tend to use as a catalyst for a conversation. And you don't want to get into a conversation with a vendor and be in a position where you haven't thought about what the license implication is.
Right. So let's say that you have ascertained that you probably do need the licenses. Yeah. What are the next steps?
So the first one is to validate it. So make sure that you are buying exactly what you need to buy to get the project to successfully deliver. And then it's about negotiation. So negotiate with the vendor from a pricing perspective, obviously, because you want to pay as little as possible, but also to make sure that you're contractually getting the most out of it as you can, whether that's from matching existing contracts, because a lot of times we see customers who have older contracts that are very good in terms of what it gives them and what it allows them to do. Newer contracts might be slightly more restrictive, so what you would want to do is to try and match them as much as possible so that from a compliance and management position going forward, it makes life easier. But it's a case of a strategic purchase. We would say that it should be as important as the rest of the project, because it's going to have a big cost attached to it, because enterprise licenses aren't cheap. So you want to make sure that whatever you're spending, you're doing it the right way, at the right time, getting the right thing, and ensuring that the project remains as compliant as possible the whole way through.
Okay. So other than minimising the cost, which is obviously the number one benefit, what other benefits could you reap from those activities?
So it's something we talk about a lot, which is waste. So license waste, and it comes from a presumption that we own 100 licenses, we're using 100 licenses, we need 50 more, so we'll go and buy 50. The reality could be that you own 100 licenses, you're using 75, or if you optimized it before you moved, you could be using 75, which means that you now only need to buy 25. And that can have a massive financial impact. I mean, if you talk about, processor licenses that can be 30, 40, 50,000 pounds a processor, saving 25 of those can have a massive impact.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of making sure that, like I said, what you're buying is right, but that you're starting from the right position. And the right position is an optimized estate, which means we know exactly what we need to buy, and it's a genuine purchase, a genuine requirement that we'll get the benefit out of. Not that in 18 months' time we'll look back at it and go, actually, we kind of had a lot of those licenses, which you don't want to be in, because again, that creates waste. As we talked about before, cancelling licenses is difficult, so it's a whole long road that you put yourself on. Whereas the investment in time at the start to make sure you're buying from the right place, it can have a massive impact down the line.
Great, thanks.
Yep.
This fireside chat is part of a series of chats covering a wide range of license topics, which you can find at our SAM YouTube playlist below. You can also review our content on LinkedIn by using the hashtag SAMVideoChat. Finally, if you have a license concern or would like to understand how your IT projects impact your enterprise licensing, please contact us for an initial complimentary consultation at www.version1.com/contact. Thank you.